2024 has continued to be a great year for horror fans. Since I made my last video focusing on some more obscure horror gems from the past year, there have been plenty of big ol' fat spook fests. The Heretic, Smile 2, Cuckoo, I Saw the TV Glow, and Robert Eggers' Nosferatu is supposed to be great. I still haven't seen it. I have 2 kids, I haven't been in a theater, and it's been a long time. Well, we're back to fill out another list for you guys of 5 more obscure horror movies you probably missed. These are all independently made, I had never heard of them before, and they're all 75% or more on Rotten Tomatoes, if you care about that sort of thing. So let's dive in and discover some genuine ground roots spookiness. Here are 5 more obscure horror gems from 2024. And as always, I want to give a special thanks to our patrons over on the Backfocus Patreon. Check it out if you'd like to help support this channel.
Still alive. Come on.
Hostile Dimensions is clearly inspired by the dark corners of Reddit and 4chan, where collaborative horror stories, otherwise known as creepypastas, spread like wildfire amongst internet lurkers looking for a good scare. Similar to the independently made Slenderman series Marble Hornets, the filmmakers wisely used the found footage/mockumentary style to tell the story of 2 struggling filmmakers, Sam and Ash, who set out to uncover the mystery behind the disappearance of Emily, a graffiti artist who seemingly vanished when stepping through a mysterious door in an abandoned building.
That girl, Emily, she's actually missing. She's been missing for like a month.
Really? You're trying to bait me with a missing person?
In their search, Sam and Ash find the door, bring it back to their flat, and soon realize that it is essentially a slot machine of alternate dimensions. This is where the fun of the movie is, and where you could imagine the hive mind of the internet just coming up with countless possibilities of the horrors that could lurk behind the door every time it's opened.
Are you ready?
Go on.
Okay.
There's even a bit of a backrooms or liminal spaces feel to it, which I'm all for. And the film is self-aware of these elements. Like when they're brainstorming what the door could be with little post-its on the wall, one of the post-its clearly says backrooms.
So the question is, can we go through the door? I'm more worried about things coming through here.
And some of these scenes reminded me of this very specific Backrooms-inspired video I came across on Twitter. I mean, I know there's probably a whole bunch of these, but it has like a seemingly endless water slide that descends into an abyss. It's so odd and dreamlike. I wish I knew who made it so I could credit the creator. There's a similar sequence in which Sam and Ash walk into an abandoned indoor playground. You never know what could be lurking around the corner.
That's weird. What does that mean? I think it means free hugs.
There are some light criticisms I had when I watched it. Now, this is just my opinion, right? I mean, I think the low budget unfortunately shows at times, depending on what's behind the door. When it's played for comedy, it works because it's kind of ridiculous.
Greetings, my children. I have taken a form that will not cause you to fear me.
In other scenes that are supposed to be unsettling, I don't know, I felt like they couldn't quite pull it off sometimes. And the acting, again, in my opinion, it's decent, right? I mean, they're very natural for the most part, but during moments that are supposed to be emotional or cathartic, I felt like they could have gone further with it.
Wait, you've heard of these before?
Yeah, I mean, on creepypasta posts and things like that, but... Well, you know, I take everything with a pinch of salt, but, like, you know, there is a subreddit, like the video on a subreddit.
But that's not to say I didn't enjoy it. I'm a fan of science fiction. I've loved the idea of multiple dimensions ever since I was a kid watching Sliders on the Sci-Fi Channel. And this is maybe the first feature-length film I've seen that has gotten that kind of creepypasta backrooms tone right, with a nice touch of goofiness to it that I think offsets the few flaws it has. So if this sounds like it's up your alley, then hey, just open up that door.
No, it is stupid. It's what we all do.
Who?
Women like me. We put ourselves in dumb situations and act all shocked they don't turn out well. Sometimes it's like we're drawn to unhappy endings, you know? Like a population of f***ing moths.
You'll Never Find Me is one of those cerebral horror films that I could easily see as just a classic Twilight Zone episode. In fact, now that I think about it, it actually reminds me of this one episode. It's called The Shelter, in which these normally cordial neighbors begin to turn on one another as they fight over a bomb shelter amidst an impending nuclear disaster.
I want to see the morning sun come up, too. But you're acting like a mob, and a mob doesn't have any brains. You're proving it by what you're doing!
There's a similar kind of mistrust in this film, but it's just two strangers trying to suss each other out.
I was just really hoping to call that car.
I'll take you after this passes over. You're shaking. Have a shower.
One stormy night, a loner living in a trailer park is surprised to find a young woman knocking on his door and asking for help. He invites her in, and what follows for the first half is just this mutual paranoia.
I figured you weren't local.
Yeah?
Well, I haven't seen you around the park.
On the outside, they're exchanging pleasantries, they're polite and seemingly forthcoming, but the subtext is just, it's full of suspicion and, what are you doing? What are your ulterior motives? On one hand, look, she's obviously thinking, is this man a serial killer? I'm some stranger showing up to a trailer park in the middle of the night. He's making me a drink, and I probably shouldn't touch that.
You're old enough, aren't you?
What, a drink? Yeah, of course, thanks. I was just really hoping to make that phone call.
Oh, that's right. Sorry.
On the other hand, he's thinking, I'm not crazy about letting a stranger into my house who may or may not be lying about who she is and where she came from.
You've been swimming?
Yeah.
Strange time for that, don't you think?
I was at the beach earlier. Must have fallen asleep. I'm always wrong place, wrong time.
Also, the film creates this uneasy atmosphere that it just makes the whole setting feel like some version of hell, or like a limbo of sorts. Both characters seem to have waking hallucinations involving blood. The whole thing had this intangible nightmare quality. I kept thinking of The Hotel in Barton Fink, and the exchanges between John Turturro and John Goodman. And the storm, it doesn't sound like a normal storm at times. It thrashes overhead the fragile trailer with these mysterious creaks and scratches, and the worst parts of the storm seem to rise in tandem with the tension between them.
This is old wiring. We can try. But like I said, I think you'll be here for a while.
Because of the implication.
Here we are on a boat, out in the middle of nowhere. Nobody would ever hear our screams in this wind. Oh, the thunder is throwing this whole thing off. It's making everything I say seem sinister, which it's not intended to be.
Are you going to hurt women?
I'm not going to hurt these women.
But there were also just welcome elements of levity and catharsis in these little moments when our two strangers begin to just open themselves up a little bit.
For the first time in a long time, I feel awake.
It's really nice, subtle acting on both their parts, especially considering the mental gymnastics both characters are doing as they're trying to figure out the other person.
I've enjoyed your company tonight. I mean that in no other way than how I've said it. If you feel I've kept you here longer than needed, well, it's purely for the conversation.
I don't want to give away any more. I'll just say that in addition to being genuinely creeped out, I especially enjoyed the exchanges between them that come across as a patient examination of what scared animals we humans can sometimes be, and how easy it is to jump to conclusions.
3 jacks.
You're lying.
I thought we were beginning to trust each other for a moment there.
왜 그래? 하지 마.
In the South Korean horror thriller Sleep, Soo-jin and Hyun-soo are happy newlyweds navigating the beginnings of their life together. They're still, figuring things out, right? Soo-jin is a working mom-to-be, and Hyun-soo is fighting to get more than a line or two on TV as a struggling actor.
나왔다.
못 보겠어 진짜. 영미 저기 뭐야.
But the relationship it's just nice, and he's a little bit of a goofball, and I don't know, I like watching him. Then one night, Hyun-soo is inexplicably stricken with a sleep disorder that begins to escalate in a variety of ways.
오빠 잠깐. 오빠 왜 이래?
This is, to say the least, a problem. If he's putting himself in danger, who's to say what would happen with a baby in the mix? I remember the moment that struck me, that I realized that as I was watching, and I just audibly said out loud to nobody, No, oh God! As the film progresses, the two they just try their best to solve the problem, which may or may not be supernatural.
귀신은 자는 사람한테 잘 붙어. 잠잘 때 영성이 약해지거든. 그 틈을 타서 몸에 들어가는 거야. 야비하게.
Apart from the absolute dread and unpredictable nature of Hyun-soo's sleepwalking, I especially enjoyed the detailed minutia of how the couple goes about trying to figure out what to do. It's actually very satisfying because they're doing everything that you would do. They're doing everything right.
집을 최대한 안전하게 만드는 거예요. 혹여나 수면 중에 걸어 다녀도 안 다치도록 사고를 예방하는 거죠.
For those familiar with comedian Mike Birbiglia's stand-up and his autobiographical film Sleepwalk With Me, he has a similar sleepwalking condition, and he has to just do a bunch of stuff to make sure he doesn't jump out of a window and cut himself on broken glass, which actually happened to him. Where Birbiglia used it as a seed for comedy, it seems like a no-brainer for this affliction to be a compelling jumping-off point for horror. And that's exactly what Sleep manages to do. The only other thing I'll say is that I had no idea where it was going, and I was more than satisfied with where it landed.
내일 당장 병원에 가봐. 들었어?
들었어.
I could explain to you all what it is, but I think the best way for you to understand is if you just try yourself.
It's What's Inside kicks off immediately with manic editing, a prickly, anxiety-inducing, ever-present soundtrack, and an ensemble cast of very specific characters who are about to go through some crazy stuff. We're gradually introduced to 8 friends who are reuniting for a pre-wedding party. At first, they are familiar caricatures. The social media influencer, the crunchy new age girl, the party guy, and eventually the outcast, Forbes.
What do you remember about Forbes?
Who hasn't been seen or heard from after an altercation at a party 8 years prior. Nobody expects him to show up, but show up he does. And he brings a mysterious machine with him that he promises will be an experience to remember.
What the f*** is going on? Oh, f***! No!
1.
The machine in question allows people to swap bodies.
I'm gonna guess that Shelby is in Brooke's body.
Yeah.
Shelby?
Uh-huh.
You good?
Yeah.
After the initial shock, he suggests that they all play a party game similar to Mafia or Werewolf. Acting as a sort of dungeon master, Forbes will swap everyone into another person's body at random, and the friends have to try and guess who's in whose body.
Yeah, dude.
Maya. Maya, final guess.
What? How the fuck?
Yeah, Maya's in Nikki's body.
At this point in the film, it becomes very clear how important it was for all of these characters to start off so broad. It's an essential element for the viewer to be able to identify them in someone else's body.
Nobody says perfunctory, like, out loud in an actual sentence unless they're overcompensating.
Oh, wow, well, I guess I'm not as good as you are at pretending to be someone else.
Oh, really? Because it sure seems like
guys,
you are.
guys.
Oh, really, bro?
Relax. All right.
Why do you always talk like you're in a rap video?
For example, Cyrus is just an insufferable, jealous, weak-minded, manipulative gaslighter, just full of nervous energy, as he attempts to explain to Forbes why he hasn't proposed to his girlfriend Shelby after 9 years.
And it's not even, it's like just everything. It's like, did you pick up the, and it's like, and there's some good part, but I guess it's about, like, you know, deciding.
After getting to know him, it's so much fun to see another actor exhibiting obvious Cyrus energy, stumbling over his words as he's trying to desperately control a situation.
Forbes, could you just go get Nikki, you know? And I was like, okay, yeah, cool. So I'm just, I don't know, just coming to get you or whatever.
And other shady sounding available now on Audible.
That's hilarious.
I mean, as you can imagine, it must have been a field day for the cast. Every actor gets to portray a spectrum of personalities.
And the longer we stand out here...
We're not, no. We're not calling the cops. No way.
The performances across the board are as impressive as the writing, which manages to familiarize the audience with 8 distinct characters over the course of 20 minutes. And it does it with such an effortless flair that by the time the games begin, you already have a good handle on each person and their strengths and their flaws and their personality. And this movie does not drag. The entire thing went by so quickly for me, probably because I was locked into every single scene, trying to work out exactly who is who, and I was also keeping my eyes open as much as possible, just in case the film tried to pull a fast one on me on some weird meta level. Because, I mean, like, anybody can be anybody, I don't know, there was a lot of layers. The whole thing is just wild, genuinely funny, dramatically compelling, and engaging in every way. But that's just me. Or is it?
Là-bas. Ils vont vous soigner ici. Quoi? Arrêtez! Arrête! Lâche ça! Lâche ça! Arrête!
In what I assume is sort of the France equivalent of the Hollywood Hills, Romain, a typical rich teenager, buys some drugs before making his way to a bangin' party. On the way, he picks up a frightened girl covered in blood.
Oui, allô?
Parlez doucement et distinctement.
Je viens de trouver une femme à côté de au bord de la route.
Elle est blessée.
Je sais pas trop quoi faire. Elle va pas bien, je pense.
Restez avec elle. On va vous envoyer l'ambulance et la police.
Quoi?
On vous envoie l'ambulance et la police. Donnez-nous votre adresse.
Non.
She infects him with something that can best be described as an incredibly contagious 28 days later zombie rage virus, and as he arrives at the party, well, you know, I mean, things don't get better. This isn't your average zombie movie, and it has a couple elements to it that I think set it apart. First of all, the entire film is shot in one take. No, this is not one of those 1917 or Birdman situations where they hide all the cuts. Writer-director David Moreau says that they shot 5 takes over the course of 5 days. Considering some of the complicated shots and camera movements throughout the film, I mean, it's an incredible accomplishment. Now, you can call it a gimmick if you want, but even if Mads wasn't a oneer, it would still be a great movie. The one-take method just adds to the anxiety, which seems to be the best way to utilize the oneer, I think. You know, like that one episode of The Bear, right? They're all over all the receipts that popping out. Oh, you know, or the crazy drug shootout sequence in the first season of True Detective. There's another element to this zombie movie that helps it rise above the rest, But I want to give a minor spoiler warning, right? I know I said that this video is no spoilers, and I mean it, so I'm calling this out. There's something really specific I want to call out, and what it reveals is maybe kind of iffy, so if you've heard enough, skip ahead to the next time code. If you don't mind me revealing just a teensy bit more, stick around. So Romain, obviously, he's not the only one that's going to get infected, right? And so the film chooses to show us 3 characters over the course of the running time, and the most intriguing thing to watch is the actors go through this gradual transformation. First, it's subtle, right? It's like these little ticks and little twitches and bones just audibly cracking and like setting in place, and I don't know what's going on, but it's ugh. And then they begin to lose themselves, and it's terrifying. And I don't know if this was intentional, but I got the impression that in this specific zombie universe, that your personality dictates what kind of zombie you'll be, right? I mean, take the socialite Aeneas, the second character we follow. She's outgoing, fun, kind of bubbly, and the actress, Lori Pavey, manages to switch back and forth instantly between horrified, screaming for help, to just absolutely giddy. There's wonderful physicality here as she prances around, laughing uncontrollably, playfully looking for the next victim. Overall, Mads sets the bar high as an incredible narrative and technical achievement that isn't just for horror fans looking to scratch that zombie itch. Like, it's not just a hollow gore fest. Despite their flaws, the film paints these kids as three-dimensional characters that you really feel for. Also, I did the VO for this section all in one take. Just not as impressive, sure, but considering the... God... I was almost at the end. I'm not doing it again, alright? This is the VO you get. Pretend I ended it in like a super clever way. Alright guys, that about does her. Wraps roll up. I'm sure there have been some other obscure horror movies this past year I might have missed, so if you have any recommendations, really from any year, right? It doesn't have to be 2024. Why put limits on joy? Why? Leave a comment below. In the meantime, I'm all strapped in for 2025. The spookiest year yet. Unofficially. Thanks for watching.